too, but that might disrupt the whole contraption. Okay, I think everyone can see us. Again, I'll just state, because I'm going to cut that part out. Cell phone is our camera today. That's why things look different. And it's stacked on a pile of books because I lost my little stand mount. So this is very much a delicate rig here. So I'm going to count on you guys. If it falls over halfway through, let me know and make sure you can still see everything, because that would be bad. All right, so today I promised you a very special game. Who gets the emails? Let's see. Who knows what we're talking about? 3 people? Oh, okay, you guys get emails. I want to show you guys a game, a pro game, where 2 professionals play Tengen. And so the first move, of course, is here. There's really not that many of top professional games where one of the players plays Tengen. Like, this is a thing that happens, like, people talk about it, and it has happened, but it usually happens in lower level professional games. It's actually very few top players have played it. I did find a Cho-Chi-Kun game where he played this, I think in 1973 or so. But anyway, the game that I selected that I want to show today is actually between 2 professionals who are very, very important to American Go. And these 2 professionals are Yulin Yang, who is a 7-dan professional from China, born, I think, 1951. And he's lived here now for over 30 years, basically. But he basically did his, he came up through the ranks in China. He became professional at age 14. He played in the Chinese national team in the 1980s, achieved the rank of 7-dan. And then after he moved to the United States, somewhere, I don't know, let's say around 1990. I'm not really sure when he came here. Maybe not quite 30 years. He started teaching Go to Americans. And he became a fixture at the U.S. Go Congress some years after that. And he's also a teacher that I've actually studied with, because you can take lessons from him directly, like over the internet. He's written a number of books that are really, really good. If you've never seen of any of Yulin Yang's books, they're certainly worth a read, especially for double-digit Q players. How many of you have read Yulin Yang? Yes? Do you know which ones? Or?
The one that's about reduction and invasions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really good.
It's really good. And they're really, really good because Yulin Yang, as a teacher, understands that as Americans, we really like heuristics. Like, we like mental shortcuts to figuring out, like, okay, how does this work kind of thing. And we're not as good as perhaps in some Asian cultures as just like the rote practice problems and puzzles that you'd normally give a Go student, right? So we like these lessons and heuristics and lectures, right? Things that you wouldn't expect to be part of a training system in a traditional, Eastern Go approach to the game. So he's written a bunch of books that are really great, and he's a really great teacher. I highly recommend him. He is playing black in this game. The white player is James Kerwin. Does anyone know that name? Yeah, Peter?
Yeah.
You know anything about James Kerwin?
He was like a 1-dan pro quite a while ago.
Yeah. So James Kerwin was actually the first American to ever achieve any sort of professional rank status. And he's from Minnesota. He went to Japan in the early 1970s, apparently when the exchange ratio was really good between yen and dollars. And he basically just took Go lessons from professionals wherever he could. Again, it was a really good exchange rate, so he just sort of stocked up. He then participated through the INSEE system and became a professional by 1977, 78, I don't quite remember the year. And then after a few years of playing in Japan, he came back to the United States and really wanted to help spread Go here. And so since that time, he has also been a fixture in American Go. The last few years, he's really not been as active as he was maybe 10, 20 years ago. But he's still around. He officially retired from the Nihon Kin in 2013, although he still plays Go and teaches Go. So we have 2 very, very strong players that both have ties to the United States, at least as far as the proliferation of Go here. However, I also want to stress these are not top Go professionals. So this is not necessarily something you should emulate. So they're having a fun game here. This game is from about 20 years ago, and I don't know the context for it. I wish I did. But Yulin Yang's playing black, and he plays here. So my first question is, what does this move mean?
I want the middle.
I want the middle. Not really. That's not really what it means at all.
Kind of passing to let the other player go first?
It's passing and letting the other player go first.
Sort of breaks the symmetry.
It's-
To play Miracle.
It's actually the ultimate in flexibility.
It's the
You can
ultimate
go
in
any
flexibility,
direct-
yeah.
Any direction you want.
Yeah, it's so one of the people who sort of I'll say happenstance taught me how to play Go is Jeff Chevelle. He's a well-known player in the Go community. He's, Fordon from Texas. But when I was a Q player and Jeff would occasionally feed us a bit of Don level knowledge, right? He would say, "Oh, you play here if you want territory, and here if you want influence in the corner, right? And if you don't want influence in a corner, you want influence everywhere, you play here." And so this is the idea of the stone is you get influence everywhere. And yes, it breaks symmetry. Yes, it might prepare for mirror go. It might do a bunch of other things. But really, this stone is not about taking territory. It's about starting fights. This is about giving you an advantage in every fight, every ladder that will come up this game. It takes very little in terms of points, like surprisingly little. But if you're going to play one of those games where you're just going to fight the whole time, and territory is not important, this stone gives you a lot of freedom to explore this. Anyway, James Kerwin plays over here. Pardon me. Yulin Yang. I can't actually remember, sorry. Is someone on my iPad there? It doesn't matter. Here, he plays there. James Kerwin goes here. Yulin Yang plays here. I should have someone just tap along with the iPad just to make sure I'm doing this right, because I only read through this game yesterday, and I think I have it memorized, but we'll find out. So this is like an opening, right? This is, what do you think of this stone? Is this like if the position was like this? Is this where you would play now? Probably not. And something that I've said a lot in my classes is that Tengen is always wrong. Like no matter when you play it, at our level, at our level, even Don level, we don't ever appreciate how powerful and how weak this move is. Like this is still a really, I don't know. It's a move. It's kind of incomprehensible. And so I just tell my students, this is always wrong. Just never play this. And Yulin Yang actually would almost agree with me. Again, I took lessons from him for a year, but here he is playing it, just having a good time. Okay, if you were white, what would you want to do?
Break it up.
Break it up. How do you do that?
I have the iPad, so it's easy. I know exactly where to play.
Oh, you know exactly where James Kerwin plays.
16. Start point.
16 start point right here? Yeah, very close. James plays here. And there's one other thing I've sort of noticed about Tengen, and I think, this is my own theory / knowledge, and this might be, a professional will tell me I'm completely wrong, but I sort of believe that once someone has this point, it's actually the game becomes more about the sides and the corners. Because the only way this stone really affects the corners is from ladders. But if you make sure you play Joseki that don't have ladders, then this stone is not important. The sides, however, this is a really nice stone to work with to build any side or to invade. Right? If black has all this and white has a stone here, white can play a stone like anywhere over here and already has a friend to run to. Like this makes a very big difference. And conversely, the opposite can be true as well, where this stone, if white makes any sort of weak group, we already have a friend out here to use to try to net and capture it. So I think, at least at our level, we feel the effect of this stone much more in line with the sides, to the point where in my own game, if my opponents open up with Tengen, like this, my move, I usually play here. I sort of play this inside-out go. This is my own style. You probably shouldn't emulate this. But this is just sort of the way I've sort of noticed the flows of these games to go. Okay. Stone, stone, stone. All right, so James Kerwin plays here. If you were black, what do you think you would do?
Approach one of the white stones and then come back and make them white.
Yeah, maybe, hey, if we can do something like this. Oh, it starts to look pretty good, right? Sure, that's nice. That's totally not what happens. Yulin Yang's already sort of playing a special strategy game. And I suspect that he believes that he is stronger than James Kerwin. Maybe it's a little, Chinese pride. Maybe it's a little, even though James Kerwin did study at the Nihon Kin, did become professional, he really didn't move through the professional ranks after that. And so, you know, he's playing a little bit more cavalier. He's playing a little more rogue. He's playing a little more Harrison Ford character. And so James Cohen goes, oh, okay, that's great. Sure. You're going to let me just continue to expand myself inside your sphere of influence. Great. Where do you think black plays now? This would make sense, right? We have Tengen, right? We want to start fights. We want to break up white. We even have sort of a this isn't really a supporting stone in the fight, but this means also that if what lets us build a wall here, like we have actually a really good extension from it to build a lot of territory really quickly, it would seem like we want to fight. This would be the very natural thing. Since we have all these outside stones that allow us to play these, you know, severe invasions. Yul Yang plays here. Again, we're going Harrison Ford style. All right, pick a Harrison Ford character. That's the one we're doing. And white goes, you know, that's great. Are you tapping along, making sure I'm doing this right?
Yes, is the right answer.
Correct. All right, now what do you think black does?
Take the last side.
Take the left side, play over here. Because sides are more important, right? Like, not the corners. But if we do that, this is really nice for white.
Yeah.
Really nice. So black, in fact, plays here. And that way we don't get completely covered up and swallowed, swallowed in the corner. White takes our corner. And yeah, how do you block?
C16.
You
16.
guys like this way?
Yeah.
Nah.
The other way,
Nah.
you just Tanuki.
Tanuki.
Yeah.
Now in this position, it would also be very common to actually, even if you want to continue locally, you probably wouldn't necessarily play one of these. It would be also very appropriate to play something like this. This is also a Joseki. Or you could play like this as well, I suppose, but you're sort of helping white connect, so I'd probably avoid doing that. Yul Yang comes all the way down here. And so here's the mindset, okay? And if you can get into this mindset, you too can play Tengen, okay? But the mindset is you want to make this board into a minefield, right? You just kind of want to make everything just a little bit screwy. And if you can make everything just a little bit screwy and groups start needing to run to the center, both yours and your opponents, you're going to have a very nice game because guess what you already own.
The center.
So Yul Yang is not taking any time to play out a Joseki, right? He's just not interested in playing Joseki, right? What he is interested in creating this minefield of things to go wrong. All right, James Kerwin plays here. And this is, you know, not a bad point. Like, this is Joseki. It's not very common. We see this more often. But, you know, if black doesn't play here again immediately, you know, white will probably just take the corner. And this is bigger than this, right? We get some more territory. And this is also easier to undercut because I think white is assuming that black's going to block this way eventually. And so if black blocks this way and we already have the stone undercut, you know, we can undercut this. It's very, very easy to do. But at this point, black plays Joseki. And this is the most common thing to do. When your opponent plays the large knights, the most common response is to just jump in the corner. If the opponent only plays a small knights, right, that's where we see this being more common. You could still play this, but it's a little bit more restricted. I know when I took lessons from Yul Yang, he had me go over these variations a lot. Like he thought this was a really, really important Joseki in modern Go. Because, you know, it's this style of move, right? We've seen this move for over 500 years, right? This is a very classical move. But it has like the speed and development that modern Go emulates. Of course, with AlphaGo, right, no one plays this because everyone just decides, okay, this is the best move. But we did a lot of this. All right, next move for white, Joseki. Anyone know? Split, yes. Do you play here? This makes you sad. If you play here, you should feel sad. Do you feel sad?
I do.
Why do you feel sad?
It's too small.
Yeah, this is very inefficient. And,
It allows black to, right.
yeah, black gets a really nice shape in the corner. And in this type of shape, there's another key point here. Usually white wants to peep here. This is a very, very strong point for black to take later on, or even immediately, because it weakens these two stones and it gets this group out and building the middle. But when white takes this, what's the relationship to this stone? It's way too close, right? So if we're going to extend twice here to have a stone 2 spaces away, this feels sad. Do you guys feel bad? That's the feeling I need you to feel right now. We can't play that way. We must block this way. All right, black continues in the corner. Now there are a couple variations here. There are variations where white can play here, though this is usually just fine for black. Like this actually leaves a lot of achi. So James Kerwin plays the simple variation. Block there. Continue. Basically, we're just living in the corner. And what is the status of this black corner group?
It's alive.
It's basically alive. Now, later on, if white gets any other moves over here or over here, this can turn into a ko very quickly and can even turn into death. But for right now, we're fine. Black plays this move.
What's the status of cutting in like D6?
Ah. Well, ladder's immediately broken by this stone. I don't honestly know how this would go. But I don't think white would have... I think it's a fight. Like, I don't think it's a undoable... I don't think it's impossible for either player at this point. But I don't really know. Or is this net? Oh, it's this net. Never mind. That's the status. Ha!
Okay.
Yeah, camp's cut there. Never mind. Impossible for black. Very good. All right, so what is this move aiming to do?
Surround the white group.
Yeah,
And then
white has a stick. Wouldn't it be great if, white didn't have, or didn't respond? Because then we could either cut here, or then peep and connect, and then surround on a large scale, right? We have all sorts of fun things we can do. This actually puts a lot of pressure on this white wall. And the reason, or one of the reasons why white doesn't normally play this large knight type extension is, again, because this wall actually has a lot of shape problems for a while into the game. So the black plays here, white plays here. And notice this also fixes that the cut. Right, this is still net. Can't get out. If black were to play here, this is not the game. If black were to play here, black actually is left with some potential shape problems. And if white actually just pulls back, black would need to add another move. But that's even before we contemplate this move in the cut or the cut directly. So in this case, black actually just pulls back and saves himself the move. And again, if white doesn't respond, this net doesn't quite work yet, but we would actually cut and peep here at the same time. This would be quite good for black. Because if white had to connect, this white stick is a little squashed. So, after white extends, or black extends, white also extends in order to fix that aji. And the shape seems really weird, but, this stone, having this stone here means that we can actually cut here, which is kind of cool. You guys don't think that's cool. That's too bad. That's cool. This is a cool way to fix that cut. All right, at this point, white's getting stronger here, has a stone over here. Black plays a stone just to keep the influence in the direction of this stone. And notice white's eye shape is still not real clear. So by making sure this stone has some friends and keeping it strong, we're keeping white in a little bit of a situation. All right, I remember what happens next. I think it's here. Yeah, the iPad?
Yeah.
He says yes. Okay, good. And then, I should remember this, but I don't.
Nice move.
Is it the nice move? Yes. Okay. Thank you. The knight's move here, white, I believe, actually ignores. It takes a big point. And you can see what both players are trying to do. Number one, these three black stones are kind of under attack. So find a shape to get out. Of course, what's the problem with this shape? It's definitely cuttable,
But, you don't want to black is like.
but, well, it's, if you can cut and kill it, you should just cut and kill it. But the problem is, well, here, you're gonna see, James Kerwin's gonna cut this. Foreshadowing. Okay, totally cuttable, sort of. I believe after white takes this big move, black plays a stone here. You double checking me? No, I got it wrong?
F2.
F2. Oh, all right, this exchange.
Right.
Yes.
Correct.
And now here. Or is it here?
No.
Is this one?
Yeah.
This one? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know the moves, I just don't know the order. So I need someone on the iPad. Okay, so we made this exchange. That's cool. And then black came down here. What is black saying to white?
Face.
You need eyes.
You don't have things that you should have in order to play a Go game. Mainly eyes. And I believe white says, you know what, that's cool. White's living a little dangerously. And so why is white playing this now? No, that's not the right
No.
move?
No.
That's not the right move?
No.
It's this move.
B5.
What?
B.
Ah,
Bingo.
all right. We exchange this. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. It's those little exchanges that they're hard to remember. Okay, so what is black almost forming here? Like almost territory. Like this is almost territory. So what's it saying? You know what? No, I'm gonna make this my territory. No territory here for black. But what is white endangering in the process?
Himself.
Yeah, this giant group over here. And again, what is this? How did this game start? Yeah, black is looking for things like this to make use of this stone. And so, even though right now we can't see a definitive way of killing white, and furthermore, white can actually cut through here and fight over this. Black feels very emboldened. Right, black is not very concerned with his own stones because he knows he's got a friend in the middle. Okay, so white plays here, black comes over here. It says, okay, I was going to make this big territory over here, and you wouldn't let me. And now, I'm going to make a big territory here. Will you let me at least do that? What do you think white says? No. Now it's time we fight. We say, no, we got to fight over that. That's just crazy. All right, black plays probably the coolest move of the game here. Them's fighting words, yes. But I think black plays the coolest move. No, it's local. It's how to deal with this cut. And if you're going to learn anything from this game, other than the fact that, hey, Tengen is cool, even though it's always wrong. Don't play it. It's still cool.
J5? J5?
But you have the iPad.
No,
Really?
yeah.
Uh,
No, see,
There's also a back button,
I haven't touched it, J5.
All right. J5 is the move. This move looks terrible. Right? Because what does it look like we're giving up?
Connection to the outside.
Yeah, it looks like we're like skipping town, right? And it looks like white will just cut through here and seal us in and maybe even eat all of us.
Because of,
Say it again?
can't really cut because the what?
Yeah.
That's
So
like that.
so here, let's see what happens because I actually played out a little bit.
Please.
White comes through here. Black descends. If black were to block here, how would this go for black? Yeah, probably badly, poorly. White would have a couple options actually. White could feasibly cut here and sort of let black get out, but then would eat a stone in the process. Actually, that's probably not good because then we'd get dead. Never mind, that never happened. Terrible idea. White would play either here or here. Probably there. And then if black has to connect here, we've just sealed in this black group. And if black needs to find time to live down here, white will have time to basically make shape, get out, and unburden himself with feeling the effects of Tengen at this point. But this is not how this goes. Because black does not block, black plays here. And this actually makes quite a nice shape for black. Even though it looks really scary. White cuts here. Now we have 2 stones in trouble here. We have 5 stones in trouble here. And we have 1 black stone that's completely disconnected. So this is a winning strategy for black, yes? Perfect.
Stones in the middle, yeah. If the white stones in the middle end up winning, yeah.
Sure, if those stones end up dead, then it's great.
What about G6?
G6 right now?
Yeah.
Yes, this looks good. Notice,
Cut 'em off.
after what black has made all these exchanges, there's only 3 liberties on this white group. And so when black comes out, oops. White doesn't have time to block here, because then we Atari indent. So instead, white is satisfied to turn. Black comes out here. And I think white plays this first. White plays this instead of this first.
You're way ahead of me.
Way ahead of you. You have 1 job.
No,
No, he plays this one first?
G3.
Oh, G3? Oh, okay, yeah.
But he's just using it.
Okay. So he plays this, and this, and this, and this, and this. So we make all these exchanges, and then we come out.
Right.
Okay, so let's do some evaluation. Currently, what is the status of this white dragon?
I think he can win.
Iffy.
It's under siege. It's under siege. If you're a professional player, you can probably find a way to make this live. Probably. We do have some defects here. We have the potential to make an eye over here. We do have this black stick that also can be harassed a little bit. What's the status of these 2 black stones? They're not super dead, but they're not healthy. They're not like guaranteed dead. They can run. How about these 2 black stones?
I think black, well, for the previous 2, black has the ladder, he chose to run.
Yes, black has both ladders here. They're in this general direction. How about these 2 black stones?
Well, they're allowed until white blocks on G1.
Yeah, they can be saved. They can be saved. But in general, if you have 2 pairs of weak stones that are basically dead within one move each, you know, this white is pretty strong, right? We can assume this white is quite strong, because white can make eyes whenever he wants. Oh, you're going to save that one? Boom, I kill these two. Oh, you save these? Boom, I kill these two. I have eyes wherever I go. The status of the black stick isn't great, but total friendship. Right here, look at this. This is just a hop, skip, and a jump away. However, black's really good at this game. Black plays a stone here. And so we talked about this cut earlier, right? And what do we decide?
Didn't working.
Doesn't white just eats that stone, right? Like there's nothing for black to do here, right? There's no way this stone lives. Except what?
Except those 6, well, depending on how you do it, those 6 stones on E and D, the 6 white ones, are
These?
threatening.
No, I mean, look, we can just Atari dead, right? There's like, or we can go Atari dead. Or we can go net dead, right? There's like no less than 3 ways. Actually, does this kill it too?
That doesn't work.
That doesn't work now?
No, oh no, it does, sorry, I tried with you once, so.
Okay. Like, this stone is just dead.
But I feel like maybe he's like making this corner group alive and sentient, and then white will only have 1 eye. Is that?
You're on the right track.
Otherwise, this, like, white can make a eye down here by threatening the life of the corner group. I mean, up there.
Well, this is all good, except depending on white's response here, there's some other defects that black is looking to take advantage of. What was white's move to get out here?
A jump.
A jump. What do we know about jumps? They're great. They're completely impervious. They're 100% connected.
Super.
Like 80% of the time, a jump is good, right? But it leaves a defect.
I guess there's that peak.
There is a peep. So when white plays here, right, to try to preserve eye space, this is not working. This is not good at all. Because when black plays here, yeah, double check the iPad. Hold on.
Yeah, that was right.
This is right. White takes. No? Oh, push.
C8.
Yeah, C. Okay, got it. All right, so black peeps, white counter peeps. Black goes, okay, that's great. Sure. White pushes. Which shows some fighting spirit with this cut. It's crazy. All right, so first question, can black save the stone right now? A cutting stone.
No.
Black extends, white Ataris, black connects, white Ataris, black connects, white captures everything. But that's a real tenuous sequence. Like if anything changes out here, right, black can run the stone out.
Does that work though? Does that put one of the 3 stones in Atari?
You mean if black runs it out right now?
1-3.
Oh, the self-Atari.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, it doesn't even work.
No.
Never mind. Good job. Yeah. Okay. Well, the game black plays here. And white is kind of playing a little bit desperate here, looking to try to find a way to get out. So white actually plays here. Black connects, and white plays here. All right, so what's the status of these 4 black stones? Clearly they can't connect to this stone right now, right? That's self-Atari.
Got the ladder.
Hey, there's a stone here, isn't that nice? If we get in any real trouble, we have a friend. But,
Yeah, it doesn't work.
The ladder does work if you're creative about it, but we're not that, there's actually a better sequence than the ladder. We actually don't need this ladder. So if you really need to make this ladder work, guys, right, we can throw in here. Let's pretend for a second that white can save this stone, but white can't. Hint, hint. Black can play this Atari, and then this Atari. White takes, and then, right, and then this ladder works. But we don't need any of that. That's all unnecessary. Because I don't know what white was thinking, but after black takes this, it just becomes a straight up capturing race. Basically for this white stick versus anything that happens in the corner. And so black just makes 2 exchanges, or really 1 exchange. And captures this stone. And I think white plays this immediately. I don't know the timing. If this happens right now or in the capture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Capture.
Capture. And then black, this is Atari, so black has to capture.
Correct.
And then I believe white makes this little bit of shape down here.
Correct.
To try to make an eye. And now it doesn't make an eye, right? It starts to give us some more moves in the corner. So it's Sente. However, we're dealing with this Chinese 7-dan professional who's really good at reading and can read this out as a capturing race. So he plays here. White plays here. Black plays again. Of course, that's forcing. Now there's no eyes for white. And black finds this move. Does this move make 2 eyes? It threatens to make 2 eyes, right? Black can get another move. Black can get an eye here and here.
It's a really big eye.
But it makes a really big eye, and that's the key. At this point, white resigns. Because white can't win this capturing race. There's a couple ways we could try to. The most obvious of which is to play something like this here. But I think all black needs to do is just keep 1 big eye. And in this case, here's a classic Go problem. How many liberties does this black group have? Does anybody know? It's 8. So I see some very puzzled faces. That's cool. How does this thing have 8 liberties? Because literally it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see 5.
Right, you have to.
Yeah, look, if we actually count this out, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 would be death, right? Except instead of white playing move, black plays a move. Right, so that's really like 3 moves. 4, 5, and then black will kill this one again. 6, 7, 8. Isn't that cool? So if you can make a big eye for your group, if there's a capturing race, I mean, you have much more liberties than it looks. Very, very difficult to reduce. And sure enough, right, if we try to do this and black makes a big eye, we can see that even if white takes this defect away from us and reduces this down to 4 spaces, how many liberties does this have?
7.
7?
6.
What? No, I have 5. I think this is 5.
Yeah, it's just Fibonacci.
So all right, I used to know this a lot better. You're gonna, all right, so if you have a big eye of 4 spaces,
Right.
that's 5 liberties. 4 eye space is 5 liberties. A 5 eye space is 8 liberties. 6 eye space?
That's just a lie, right? Unless it's.
No. You could have 6.
6 eye.
Bunny.
11.
The rabbity 6. And also, but you're also forgetting. You're not. So here's another way to count out.
Right, sorry, 6 is 11.
Oh, that's supposed to be 11.
6 is 11.
It's, sorry, is it 13?
13 is
I think it's 13.
Fibonacci is 13. And I always just I think it's Fibonacci. I always forget that there's that 6 thingy. Yeah, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, take, so that's 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus.
How do you make 6? There's a way to make 6. I can't do 6. There's a 6. You can do the gravity 6.
Gravity 6, yeah.
But remember, you can also have white stones already existing there as well,
That is 6.
that you can reduce it to a gravity 6. So you can have even bigger than 6 if there's already white stones in it. And then you get lots of liberties. Anyway, if we're playing this out, whose move was it? I think it was white. Right, we can play a black stone here. We can play a white stone there. Of course, the problem with this, oh, actually, I can't play it. Black has to connect before the self-Atari. This is a space of 4. 4 has 5 liberties. How many stones are already in here? 2. So it's like we only have 3 liberties, because white already has 2 of the stones played. So white plays 1, black takes. Now you can clearly see that it has 3 liberties, right? It reduces to 3 liberties, which is weird. Yep, and then Atari, connect, Atari, dead. No time. So black wins this capturing race pretty straight up. Sometimes the big eye math kind of hurts people's brains. But here's your tip. And the most common is a block of 4 or a block of 5. If you have a big eye of 4, it's 5 liberties. If you have a big block of 5, it's 8 liberties. And if you have white stones already in those blocks, you just subtract the liberty for each stone white already has in it. And so, yeah, you get these very tiny one-eye groups that actually have just a ton of liberties. Really just pain in the butt to kill. So, anyway, this game ended pretty tragically for James Kerwin. This is around 80 moves, and he just, already had to resign with only playing, really one corner of the board. And so, what did it? Why was it such a train wreck for white? It's the magic of Tengen.
I think it was more that he just lost the fight.
Yeah, it was more that black, went in there with just the spirit of like, hey, we're just going to dance. I'm just going to make a mess. And again, if you have a stone, you can feel pretty confident about doing that. And if you go in there and make a mess, and you're better at reading than your opponent is, you're going to have a good game. So yeah, in the end, he just sort of lost this fight. But I think, again, black was emboldened when you have a center stone, you can play wherever you want. You might not have enough points at the end of the game, but you can do some crazy things in the meantime. So, do you guys feel like playing Tengen now? Is this your new favorite? That's a no.
I don't read that well.
All right, well, here's one other reason to play Tengen. Many of you guys know this. If you open Tengen, let's say your opponent takes a corner. Again, you subscribe to my theory of Tengen, you take a side. Your opponent takes another corner, you take another side. Your opponent takes another corner, and then you can play the Great Wall, Fuseki. Do you guys know the Great Wall? Have you heard of the Great Wall? Pretty cool. Black plays another stone here, and another stone here. This is your Great Wall. You divide the board into 2 halves. And this is also great. You just play wherever you want. Like you just, oh, your opponent's trying to make territory here? At any point here, you can just invade. You have every ladder in every direction, and you have friends to go to wherever you want. Another Fuseki it's not a real Fuseki, it's, I don't know, a thing that I'll play sometimes in handicap games, but that are not handicap. So in other words, when I'm playing a Q player who doesn't want to take a handicap from me, I'll play this, and I'll play a corner, and I'll play this, and I'll play a corner, and I'll play this. And so most of them will take another corner, and I'll say, Panuki, 30 points, I win. But the smart ones, instead of taking the last corner, they play here. Just to have that conversation. That's fun, right? Yeah, and if you have a Panuki in the middle of the board, oh my god, you can have a lot of fun that game. Any weak white group is just in so much trouble if it has to run to the middle. So strong. So anyway, I think this was a good little history lesson on some American Go luminaires, as well as, you know, a professional example of playing Tengen and that spirit that it allowed them to just be super aggressive and also not care about things like corner points, because this is going to be a game that's going to come out fighting. You guys are all depressed now. Why? It's really bright outside.
Not depressed. I just feel like capture races.
You just feel what?
I just feel like there must have been some other option.
Oh, for white? I think white played really dangerously.
Like, what if white had tried to make an eye during the earlier parts of the capture race?
Oh, like down here, or?
Just in his
But the problem is if white spends too much time making an eye, black can make two eyes in the corner directly.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
realized that.
yeah.
But then there's this outside group, right? The black dragon.
This one, yeah?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's Tengen. How do you capture it? There's a friend here,
No place to go.
right? There's like this black dragon that just needs to go like
Yeah,
there,
it's true. It's like pretty sad.
you know?
Sad reality.
Like and if it doesn't get there, it just needs to get out far enough to have enough liberties to win a capture race. Because this white group really didn't have that many liberties.
If Black's going to play Tengen, would White be better served just playing a much more territorial game than normal?
You know, there's some different philosophies on this. I have no idea what the correct one is. I've told you mine. If you play Tengen, I'm going to start doing this sort of crap. I'm just playing sides. And usually, you know, again, I don't know many people who do this directly. The person who's playing Tengen, you know, is also sort of thrown off. They're like, wait, I was trying to throw you off by playing this. And I don't know, psychological warfare. I mean, if someone opens up this, and I think actually Yuan Yang, he actually in one of our lessons, he talked about this with me, and he's like, what would you do? And this is before my whole, just play the sides theory. He didn't really, I don't think he really gave me like a definitive, like, you should do this then.
He's actually holding a 2-day workshop in Portland next week.
Oh yeah? Cool. So go to Yuan Yang's workshop and ask him, Yuan Yang, what do you do when your opponent plays Tengen? One of his best lessons, I think, that I've tried to internalize is that whenever your opponent plays an unusual move, you should probably not play the usual move. And this applies more often to local moves, right, in a small area, but I think it can apply to big moves as well. You know, when your opponent is carving up the board in unconventional ways, then you have to respond in unconventional ways as well. So that's a Yuan Yang lesson for you. All right, you guys feel good enough or confused enough? All right, thanks.